All right, perfect. Welcome to the meeting of council in town of Fort Smith of August 25th, 2026 at 7 p.m. I can confirm there is quorum. The mayor and council wish to acknowledge the town of Fort Smith is located within Treaty 8 territory. Treaty 8 territory also encompasses the traditional homelands of the Salt River First Nation, Babadé, Denisutlané Nation, and the indigenous Métis peoples of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship for the sacred lands and throughout the generations. We honor your knowledge, teachings, traditions, and the land. We're mindful that colonization has not been kind, and we respectfully recognize our generational histories and commit to strive for unity in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. All right, if I can have someone adopt the agenda. All right.
I move the agenda be adopted as presented.
Thank you. And second, Councillor Tuckey. All in favor? Perfect.
Just have one comment.
Okay.
Under item 7, administration, item C, I'll be declaring a conflict of interest.
Okay. Number 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Item C.
All right, perfect. Tonight we don't have any delegations. If I can have someone move the meetings of council meeting August 11th, 2026. Councillor Karshak.
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of August 11, 2026 be adopted as presented.
Thank you. And seconded by
I'll second it.
Councillor B. Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Any business arising from those minutes?
What?
I'm looking right at you, man. Okay.
Actually, no, I don't.
Oh my gosh. Make a note of that. Okay, right on. So, so declaration of financial interest noted. So under administration, we have the director's report from community services. I'll just hand it over to you.
Thank you. So attached in your packages is my report for the month of July. It was a pretty steady month for recreation. That was when we were mostly supporting the Wrigley evacuation. They came in June 29th and stayed all the way until July 29th. So a lot of the month of July, resources were spent supporting that. However, we saw successful engagement with hosting and supporting Canada Day, Tabathi Denisutlané's Treaty Day. Northern Lights Care Home also had a fun event on a Friday. We've been supporting the farmers market at the recreation center. That has seen growing numbers, both in community members coming out as well as vendors, which is so incredible to see. In terms of aquatics, our swim instructors received additional training, so you will see swim lessons in the coming weeks. We're very excited about that. I know that's been high community demand. So stay tuned for that. In the library, we celebrated Freddie's birthday, Freddie the Turtle. We also had STEM robotics programming, which was a really big hit as well. The daycare had a really successful July. We received a grant for a kitchen renovation we're really excited about. We had more families traveling due to vacation, of course, so that allowed for more drop-in spots, which were amply filled. We successfully completed a great health inspection with GNWT. Summer camp was at 90 to 100% capacity for most of July. They got to do some really fun events like paddle boarding in the pool with support of the paddle club, tennis lessons with Jones Health. Connie Bear, they got to go out to Connie Bear for a lot of days with the support of protective services and their fire trucks. The kids got to have water days from the fire trucks. That was really awesome. And then in terms of ECDEV, like I mentioned, we supported Canada Day. It was a really awesome Canada Day. Thank you to the Fort Smith Band for playing a live O Canada. That was really awesome. Everyone who participated in the parade. We had a little bit lower participation than previous years, but we think that could be to a number of reasons due to evacuation, as well as some people on vacation. We also had multiple organizations were supporting Fort Simpson's efforts in deployment. So that could be some of the reasons why we saw lower float amounts. Folks may be driving down McDougal and see that Town Hall was painted. She got a fresh coat of paint. She's looking really awesome. We also ran a successful pop-up shop with some of our merchandise. We heard from some fire crews that were in town that the hours that our visitor center was open weren't really working for them. They wanted to grab some really awesome Fort Smith merch while they were in town. So our awesome ECDEV officer opened and had extended hours, and we saw really successful numbers of fire crews after they were deployed for the evening. They got to come hang out and buy some pretty cool swag, so they'll be repping Fort Smith in all their adventures. We also had the museum stewardship survey. Results have been shared with council about that. We had about 37 respondents. So we're keen to see kind of the outcomes of that. And that is pretty much the summation of July for community services. I welcome any questions.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Courette?
Thank you, Manager. Just a quick question. It's great to see our aquatics program is expanding and getting a lot bigger into it. Is there any thought that whether the town through its recreation division might advocate and support development of a swim club?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Courette. Yes, so part of swimming lessons is kind of a baseline of gaining that program. Once we have more swimming literacy in the community, we'll see more engagement, we'll see bigger numbers once kids are more trained how to swim, and then we'll be able to host those swim clubs. That's definitely a dream we've got and something we're working towards. I've heard from a lot of parents in the community that that is a very missed thing. So getting swimming lessons going is a step towards bringing that program back.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? No? All right, well done, good report, good job, guys. All right, so we don't have a municipal services report in this package. I'm just wondering if we could get an update.
Your worship, as you're aware, the director for municipal services is on vacation for the month of August, returns next week, so we will get an update in the month of September from him. We chose just to pass it by at this point, but probably the most important project that's in play, as you're all aware, is the raw water intake in the main lift station. We are continuing our bi-weekly meetings with the project manager and the contractor. We are very aware of the timing involved, and we're on top of that discussion. We still believe that it's moving along. It's a little longer than we are hoping for, but we are still dealing with that issue to get it moved along. The other one that you probably all noticed is the sidewalk repairs that are in play. When council decided to move forward with the partial allotment, that's, I believe, the right choice. You're seeing it in action. It's happening across the town. Those are the two big projects. If there's any other questions at this point, try to answer them or get information back to you.
Thank you. Councillor B?
Yeah, sorry, should have been the email ahead of time. Apologize on that part, but just wondering if there is a map of areas that are being targeted for the sidewalk work, maybe just so people could have an understanding of what's being addressed and what isn't.
Haven't seen one particularly, but we can put one together and share it with you.
If people have concerns about maybe seeing all the work that's being done and like have a concern area that maybe they're worried that isn't going to get addressed, who should they approach, especially with the director being out of town?
Okay, we can prepare that. We don't, I would bring the concern to town hall, to town office right now until Andrew's back in the office. That would be next week. But just a reminder to council, the way we approached it is that we expect to bring this back to the table on an annual basis because we are doing it in small batches. So the highest and most critical is being done this year. So we will try to include a portion in the budget next year and to make sure we get it done, because it's my understanding that we've been facing an increasing budget problem or a cost problem with it, and putting it off year after year because of that, which has been compounding the problem. So we'll be back to the table next year as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Councillor Carl? Cox?
Thanks. Yeah, just a quick question for next time we do get an update from Municipal Services. I was just wondering, we had put in a capital project for the beautification of the garbage cans that were going to be put out throughout the community. Just wondering if we can get an update for that on our next update.
Sure. Yes, I commit to anything when he's not here. Yes, we can do that. We will do that.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for municipal? Okay, right on. Okay, then moving along in your package, there is a briefing note with respect to the museum stewardship and convenience and management agreement. So, yeah. I guess we have a mover and a seconder, and then we can go to discussion. Yeah, for sure.
I move that council
Yeah.
authorize the town of Fort Smith to enter into a museum stewardship, conveyance, and management agreement as a member of the Tibetan Leadership Council, subject to satisfactory clarification of individual member financial liability, the process to be followed by if NACS is unable to continue operating the museum, and the financial consequences of withdrawal or dissolution of TLC.
Awesome, thank you. Seconder?
Awesome.
Thank you. Did you, all right, perfect, thank you. All right, and so then open up the floor for discussion. All right, Councilor Benoit?
When they say financial, sorry. When they say financial, now that if the TLC is taking over, then how does the bills get paid? Like, is it through the TLC, or is it divvied up between the 4 groups? So how does it go?
Okay, do you want to answer that?
Your worship, and you are involved in these discussions too, so you can enhance my
Yeah.
fill in the gaps.
Okay.
But it's our understanding from the agreement that the NACS will continue to operate the museum, that in essence, if they face a shortfall financially, they will still pay the bills, take in the money, pay the bills. If they face a financial shortfall, they would have to take that to the TLC for review or discussion on path forward. But I would describe it as a tiered structure, is that here's the NACS operating the facilities, presumably with bank account and money in, money out process, asking for grants, trying to bring in funds through grants primarily, and through attendance. And then the oversight board over top of NACS is a TLC at that point. It's a little challenging because TLC would technically own the property. So own the primary asset of the property and the collection. But those are more details that have to be worked out, presumably with the 2 bodies and with any banking ops based on assets. Those would primarily be operational discussions that would have to be had at the management of NACS level at their board and the TLC board. Does that help?
Thank you. Or actually, I think Councilor Cox is first, and then I'll come back to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I said it before in another meeting, but it's worth reiterating, given the wording of this. I was initially really worried about this, but in reading the draft agreement, there's a lot of it spells it out kind of who's responsible for what, and it does make me feel better. And I'm all for us supporting the museum. I think it's an asset to the town. I'm not willing to, I'm willing to do it at this point, but just the what ifs, if all of a sudden we signed up for this and they came back and said, oh, well, we're on the hook for $1 million for a new roof or whatever, then we'd have to have a much longer discussion. But I think the agreement alleviates that, and I'm not super worried about it this time. it's worth noting, I'm not, yeah, I would have a lot of concerns about putting a lot of financial liability on the taxpayers for the museum. But otherwise, I would like to support it as much as possible.
Right, perfect, thank you. Ms. Krisha?
Yeah, I'm just looking for some clarity with regards to the management board, the NACS management board. Will they need to submit an annual budget to the TLC Oversight Committee for approval?
That is our recommendation, that they be required to do so. And I would also point out, Your Worship, that the way the motion is worded, there still are a couple of steps that need to be taken. And I would suggest that, you know, the mayor as the person signing off for the town, you would have to be comfortable that that has been met at that point. So it does put a little bit of onus on you and staff, and whatever question you follow up with, to be comfortable that that requirement is met.
I think that before I would sign anything, I still need a motion of council to say
Yes.
100% we support that and 100% we want to go for it. Right now, as it is, we're going forward as long as these other things are addressed. Is there any other discussion or comments? Oh, Patty.
Hey, sorry, my camera keeps on dropping. I haven't seen anything about what could be a repatriation or rematriation of any of the Indigenous artifacts that maybe don't belong to the South Slave. I know that there's a lot of artifacts that come from the High North. And I think it would be good to include that in some of the documentation about taking over potentially what would happen in the event should it come around that the museum does close. What happens to those artifacts after? Who can claim those artifacts, or who will it go to after?
I'm just gonna, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think if we own, or if we have something in our possession that belongs to someone else, and in the event that NAC does dissolve, it should go back to its home. But that's, I think, for like maybe a policy down the road, like that's not this policy. But 100%, I think that I agree with that.
Your Worship, if I might.
Yeah.
Council, there's also language in the agreement that touches on this, but does not go into it in depth about control management of the collection. It does identify that there's further work to be done on that. And then again, you're also dealing with the four primary partners would then be SALT, or First Nation, TDN, Métis Council, and the town of Fort Smith. So you'd have three bodies there that would be key to that discussion.
For sure. Councillor, or Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Just to add to Patty, I was on the board for over 20-some years. It is actively been looking at trying to return collections to Nunavut, which doesn't have a body yet, or didn't last time I was on the board. But they've been working on that, try and get that Nunavut collection back to Nunavut actively for many years. But yes, I know when I left the board, it was when I got elected, they were actively talking about repatriation opportunities when and if they presented themselves. So putting something towards that effect, I think in any document would not be a bad thing, but I do know that the museum is well on the way to wanting to do it.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Heaton?
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I also know that the Royal Alberta Museum is also trying to rematriate some of their Indigenous artifacts as well too. And if I remember correctly, some of the artifacts that were found within Tabacha Fort Smith, unfortunately, with previously Smith's Landing, or now TDN, Tabatidanesclene, those artifacts did make it all the way down to Edmonton. So just putting it out there, it'd be nice if that stuff came back, because this is where it came from. And that might be a nice thing to, I'm sure you probably can't put it in the paperwork because with the TLC, but that would be nice, bring some of those things back.
Thanks, Councillor Heaton, 100% agree with you. Anyone else have any comment or discussion? Okay. All right, seeing none, all in favor? All right, it is passed. You can come back, Councillor Corbett. Okay, so, oops, moving on the agenda, we are not going to the bylaw or policy.
Sorry, Counselor Bay, can you turn your mic off?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't see the expression of interest for,
It was given verbally.
oh, verbally?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
phoned in.
so, okay, we have a expression of interest for Brenda Dragon for the development appeal board, if I could have a mover. All right, Councillor Payne,
I move that Brenda Dragon be appointed to the Development Appeal Board for a 2-year term ending August 25th,
Oh.
2028.
No, we're good.
okay, awesome. Seconder, okay, Councillor Benoit. Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Perfect. Passed. All right, so I guess we'll go around the room for a round table, starting to my left, Councillor Tucky.
I'm sure I really don't have much to say.
What?
Mm.
All right, sounds good. Then we'll go to Councillor Cox.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be said, but obviously, we've had a hard week, so, just thoughts out to everybody affected, and, to talk to people if you need help, need somebody to talk to, reach out to somebody, so. Yeah, I've been away for a while, and I'll be away for a while longer, but, yeah, definitely hits close to home, so. Yeah, that's really all I think I have.
All right, thank you. Councillor Corbett?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, I think, big, applause and appreciation need to go out to all the first responders, that responded to the incident over the weekend, and to the community for, showing a really strong stance against, a crisis and, people trying to devastate and ruin our community. I know today I normally will not discuss TLC, this was at the table, but today the leadership did talk about how the community can address the issue. A lot of it is on the criminal side, which is stuff that's governed by the federal government and the RCMP. However, probably the biggest area that we can, as a community, deal with is the demand side of the problem. If we can reduce the demand within our community for illicit drugs, then it won't be quite as profitable for people to show up from other places to try and make a quick buck and leave town and leave devastation behind. So through the TLC, they will be looking forward to taking some proactive steps on trying to look at the demand side and start working on mitigation factors that might be able to reduce that.
Awesome. Thank you, Councillor Tucky.
Oh, and just.
Sorry, Councillor Corbett.
Yep, and just a note, 2 festivals that are coming up over the long weekend. The 3rd annual Whooping Crane Festival will be happening, and the 14th annual Dark Sky Festival. So people, if you need something to do on the long weekend, come check them out.
Thank you. Councillor Benoit?
Yeah, I just want to applaud the community of Fort Smith on how they came together after quite a scary event in this town. And I look forward to hearing what the TLC has planned to do what you just said, Councilor Corbett, about um, tackling these issues about the drugs coming into our community. And yeah, and I want to thank the organizers of the Whooping Crane Festival for putting on a really good event. It brought a lot of people into town and brought some friends of mine into town, and it's good to see them and seeing everybody enjoying themselves, even though there was a devastating incident. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Heaton?
Yes, I think Connie meant to say the Fireweed Festival.
I know, I wasn't gonna correct that.
Whooping Crane's coming up though, Connie. You can hear the cranes calling, remember? Yeah, absolutely. It's been really difficult to be away for most of the summer, but I'm hoping to be back as soon as I can. And that's it. The thing about being south when these things are happening within the community, like even the evacuations and stuff like that. That's it. It really makes me miss home because the community is what makes Hibachi Fort Smith. And it's really evident, unfortunately, you know, like when difficult things happen, but that's when you know that you can trust your neighbors and you can rely on them to come together and accomplish things as a community. So I'm looking forward to returning to Smith for sure, and I hope, you know, the people that were injured are getting what they need, and then I see a lot of fundraising happening as well too, so I hope that they feel supported by Smith and the larger NWT community as well too. So can't wait to return and you know, hope for recovery to those affected.
All right, thank you, Councillor Heaton. Councillor Parsha?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I just would like to echo the kudos to the organizing committee of Fireweed Festival for rolling with the unfortunate incidents and still putting on a really great festival, and all of our first responders in RCMP. I think they did a bang-up job. So kudos to all of them. Kiddos are going back to school starting this Friday, even though it's a registration day at both JBT and PWK. Starting Friday and then full bore on Monday. So please keep your eye out for kids making their way to school, follow the new speed limits, and just be extra careful out there, and wishing everyone a great school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bay?
Thank you. I think everything that I've been thinking has already been said about the events this weekend. I just wanted to add one personal thing. You know, my parents are here visiting, and their experience of the festival in Fort Smith, they just said it was like nothing they'd ever experienced anywhere else, right? Just the sense of community, the just wide range of people that were out experiencing such different things. So we went to the Northern Lights Special Care Home for the folk dancing, and just to be like see the joy that was there, and to be dancing with the residents there. It was just a really nice experience. And of course, you know, the tragedy and everything that came after, and then to see the town come back after that, and the experience of gathering together was a really powerful experience. I played on the open stage with my daughter, and I'd never, like in all the years of playing music, I never played in front of anybody. I got my guitar case out and I opened it up and there's a Greyhound bus pass in there from 2007 when I first, from Calgary up to Hay River. So that's when I came up here, and I just thought about, like when I saw that, I was thinking about a place that I could call home, and like that, just a sense of community that was embodied in that, and then to be able to be invited and comfortable to play in front of everybody with my family was just a fantastic feeling. Just really, really strong. Just want to keep remembering that forever. So thank you to everybody.
Deputy Mayor?
Following everybody else, I just have to say, I mean, Ann and one of our house guests was there, left 15 minutes before the event, as it's being referred to. Yeah, hell of a scare, spending my first lockdown in Fort Smith. I was out of town the last time it happened, and a very interesting experience, trying to keep somebody entertained, stay in your house, stay out of the yard. So I now have a better understanding what others went through before, and hopefully that will translate into how I work with the community on issues where people are stressed like this. I hope we don't have any more of them, but I'm now much more aware of what happens. Really impressed on Saturday how everybody turned out, and then Sunday. So well done, Fort Smith. Fort Smith strong is the expression I think I saw on Facebook all the time. So well done. I'm very proud of you.
All right, thank you. Everyone's already said all the things. I just really enjoyed that I could actually on Sunday go down to, I actually took the afternoon off and sat there and watched everyone just playing and kids smiling and music happening and buy food from the vendors and, buy crafts. I got new earrings and, spend some money because, there's so much work, planning and effort to that, because this is a huge event that took a lot of coordination, like a year. They've already started planning now for next time, right? So the amount of planning to go into these kinds of events are huge. So to see everyone come out and support the Fireweed organization on Sunday was an awesome show of community. So that was really great to see. Thanks, guys.
Your Worship.
Yes.
Your Worship, if I could just add two thoughts. One, kudos to our staff that also double time on protective services. Many of them were heavily involved in the process, and Lauren was involved in it over the weekend, so we certainly appreciate their efforts. But I would like to introduce somebody.
Oh, yes.
Yes, our new Director of Corporate Services, Awa Mabek. Awa is on duty as of 2 weeks now, 3 weeks?
Second.
Yeah. So just if you could extend a hand welcome and say hello, and we wanted to introduce her tonight. Say hello to you. Welcome aboard.
Welcome. We're happy to see you. It's good to be here.
Yes, we are.
Good experience so far. I'm liking it. Met great people and a wonderful staff. It was a warm welcome. Much appreciated. And as you all said, that incident on Saturday, I like to believe I was an isolated one. And I'm all amazed as all you are when I went out to the festival on Sunday and saw everybody there and the vibes, the energy. I'm like, wow, this is what I've been told what Fort Smith is about. So, yeah, glad to be here.
Awesome. All right, so there is no proclamations. So the date of the next regular meeting of council, which is Community and Municipal Affairs.
That's wrong. That's
Whoa,
one after it.
yes,
Sorry.
just a sec. That's what we're doing right now.
Yep.
So the regular meeting of council for Protective and Corporate will be on September 1st at 2026, 7 p.m. And that's going to be chaired by, Councillor Kershaw. Right on.
The next one is the 15th.
And then the one after that
is
will be
the
the 15th.
Yep.
Okay. Excusing of councillors,
Who's chairing 15?
we'll do that on the 1st. We have no one to excuse. Everyone's here. We have no in camera. We have no one in the audience for questions. I can have a motion to adjourn. All right.
I'll move we adjourn at 7:35.
Perfect. Second,
I'll second it.
Councilor B. All in favor?
Get used to it.
Okay. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.